Yeah. Hey man, where's the jobs? Tell me where the jobs are.
That's another freedom.
William. Oh, 3/4. Number one, if you need help, I can help you. So, no. So, one of the questions that keeps getting asked is, how did we find the bids? How do we go about breaking a bid down and things like that? Now, one of the things about this process is it's a never-ending process. You will never be just spot on awesome. Like, you're constantly learning and trying to figure out how to tighten a bid up but still be able to make money for your guys, number one. And then number two, you have to make sure that the company is always making money. It's one thing that a lot of people leave out is they're just like, oh yeah, it's an hourly thing, and then they'll just bid in for the guys, and then the company makes zero money, and then there's no money to actually do anything with, right? Like, you can't get trailers to the next job, you can't buy equipment. So it's a really important part of it. So there's a book called Markup and Profit that I think everybody should read. It's pretty awesome, pretty beginner friendly on figuring out how to actually figure out your markup and how to make the company money. Once you've kind of got an idea on that, you've got to actually go get the bid. And so you need to find your niche, where you're at in, like, what you are good at. What we're good at is pipe. We're really good at pipe. And so that's what we focus on, pipe. That's what we do. And so you find your niche, figure out what you're good at, and then start meeting and connecting with people that are in your industry, because a lot of guys are really, really good at it and they get overran with work, and then they're looking for subcontractors to help them keep up with the work because nobody wants to turn work down. And so that's one way to find your bids, is just be good in your niche, go find people that are in your niche, and then just offer to be a subcontractor for them. So that's one way to do it. And then to start breaking down these bids, you're going to get P&IDs. I would suggest never bidding off of a P&ID. It's terrible. It's not. It literally will show you nothing.
Yeah, it'll show you like a run of pipe and a valve, but that valve could be 500 yards that way. And when you're looking at this drawing, it's like, oh, it's right there. It's 2 welds. No, now it's 14.
Yeah.
And you didn't see that because this is all you can see. That's why we're lucky to have
Navis
works.
Yes.
It really helps. But if you don't, walk in the job.
Mm-hmm.
Be there. Really ask questions. Don't be. These guys, they want you to ask questions because they want their job to run smoothly too. Right?
Yes, 100%. And then with that being said, because I have had jobs where they are like, this is all you got, that would be considered a T&M job to me. And I've learned my lesson because I have tried to bid off of P&IDs and really just got it handed to me, right? So if you are being told that this is what you got, you need to bid off of it. One of the suggestions, highlight the lines you are bidding.
Scope of work.
Scope of work, man, you got to really have that dialed in. Learn how to write a scope of work, learn how to present your scope of work. But one of the suggestions that we have got from quite a few really good project managers is to take the P&ID, highlight it, show them what lines you are going to do, and then write in your scope of work. If it is not highlighted, we are not doing it. And then this is a T&M project, so you need to come up with what your hourly rate is, how much you got to make off of each guy to where the company's making money. Basically, these guys are just going to have to hire you as a T&M. But if you have Navis works and you can actually see the routing of the pipe, you can hard bid this job. In my opinion, a hard bid will make more money because you can do your markups and all that, and you really know what is happening. If you don't do it right, you will lose your on it. So that's a whole nother deal. Guys, that's kind of the process of going through a bid. You need to break it down. What we're doing on this particular bid, we're breaking down our inches as far as weld counts, and then we're doing our money on the inches. We're figuring out how long it's going to take for a welder to do that, and then kind of what the install process is going to look like and things like that. So anyways, that's kind of how you break down a bid, how you kind of find them too. Just kind of go find your niche and go at it. Somebody in your niche has an overload of work, and they're looking for somebody to help them do it. So
Can I ask one more question?
yes.
Is it common to have two of you look at the bid, or is that just something you do? Like, what's the? I love having you here, Tubbs.
No, yeah.
I'm just trying to get this from a beginner's perspective, right? Like super beginner, or like me who doesn't know anything.
Oh yeah.
Right. Someone might be like, well, what's Tubbs doing here? Why is he here for?
Yeah.
Well,
So
2 brains better than 1.
amen. Like, if you get into these big jobs, this job is a multi-million dollar job. Not our part of it, but as far as the entire job, these guys are gonna have freaking 100 estimators on this job. Everybody's gonna be working on it. Everybody's trying to figure out how to be competitive, but at the same time make money. And for us, it's way easier for Tubbs and me to be in on this thing. And then once these jobs start growing and getting even bigger, we're gonna wind up having more estimators on this thing. And it's like, you handle this line, you handle this line. And then everybody will come together, collaborate on it, and say, okay, we can pay the dudes this much money. As long as we can do it in this speed of time, the company will make X amount. And you know what I mean? So to have the estimator, to have more than one of us, it starts to eliminate mistakes.
And like, you stare at one of these things long enough,
oh God,
you will go cross-eyed. Like I was going through these by myself while Jake was in Utah. And I got so confused. And I was just like, I had to just let it go because I had more questions than I had answers for.
Yes.
So once me and Jake can get together, then it's like, I can ask him, Jake, do you know like what this line's doing? He'll look at it and he has a totally different perspective on it. And then I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that was my bad.
And it's
I
the
didn't
same
see it.
way
And
around.
So, like, the way we've been doing this is I'll run off of this paper. He's better at the computer. He'll run through this and we'll just chase these lines. And I'll look at this and be like, well, this doesn't show like the reducer, but it's got a reducer in it. It shows it. And the valve is this size or whatnot. So working together is way better, especially for me and him.
Yeah.
It seems to work best. Some people can knock heads,
Oh yeah.
fat head problems,
Fat head,
you know,
ego
but
stuff.
Egos.
You gotta let that go for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Or you will cost yourself a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So,
Especially when you look at this, you have one idea, and then you get on the job, and it's like not at all what you thought it was. Yeah, and then, oops, sorry. So it's best to really concentrate on these things and try to figure it out the best.
yes, 100%. Sorry, we're doing 3 different things right now. Fitting, running Wisconsin, looking at Navis. We're doing all sorts of stuff right now. So,
Going back to beginner stage, right? Let's say you've gone through the bid, you've got your stuff figured out, you're talking to the guy, but how do you lock in that sale or that job? Is there a specific process, right? Right, because I'm just thinking like the beginner guy, right? Where he's like, maybe 2-3 jobs under his belt, but he doesn't really have much of a portfolio or resume to say, here's why I should, and this is one of the bigger jobs where he's like, if I just get this on my portfolio, how would you lock that in at the end of the bid? Like, how's that process work?
But-
blind confidence.
yeah, blind confidence, man. It's for real though. Like,
You got to be able to risk it.
yeah,
Like,
have some confidence in yourself.
yeah, confidence for sure. Like, Jake's way more confident in this stuff. Like, I will sometimes tuck tail and be like, man,
He won't tuck tail.
No, a little bit.
He'll
Like,
stick it out.
I don't know, dude. Like, I'm really, because this guy's a dreamer, right? And I'm kind of not. I'm like a realist.
Which works out for both sides because
I
he'll
can-
pull me
I'll-
off a cliff.
Yeah, I'll pull back the reins, or else this dude would run wild. like,
We're taking all of it.
oh, sometimes, yeah, it's like,
Because this job 2 years ago, before it even started, I was on site. And I was competing against another contractor that has like unlimited experience, right? And I had like 3 dudes. And so I got on this job and I was freaking trying to nail that down. And thank goodness I didn't get it, but I would have accepted it.
yeah. Get through the first couple, huh?
Yeah, you just get through the first couple and then you just start building that portfolio. And because like nobody's going to let you on the job when you go and tell them you got 4 dudes, you know?
Yeah.
This is a 15 guy freaking project. Yeah, blind confidence, man. That's all it is. It is a risk, and you really need to have another
But with-
dude on the job that's like Tubbs.
But with like the risk, there's always the chance for that reward, you know. Like when it's done, it is such a relief. Even like this job will drive us nuts by the end of it. But when it's done, there's that like sense of relief. But we couldn't have done it if we didn't go in there with like blind confidence of,
Oh,
we
this is
got
easy.
this. Yeah.
What do you
problem.
need?
Yeah, like, but yeah, as long they can turn into a nightmare pretty quick. Like when the scope of work thing gets fuzzy, and it's like, well, you were supposed to do this, and it's like, whoa, but on the scope of work, well, no, that's part of this. Okay, and then drags on and drags on. I'd say the scope of work is the most important thing, and lock it down. No, none of this. Well, if we need you, can you? No, I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
It's extra,
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
can, but I got to charge it for it. It's
Yeah.
not part of this job that I bid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's T&M, I guess, is how you'd have to do it.
Yep. Or hard bid it, and freaking you would know that, okay, we're running this line from this line. But yeah, dude, I think blind confidence, because if you go in like kind of nervous about it, they're like, oh no, we ain't giving this to this dude.
Yeah,
they'll know
it. Yeah, they'll know it.
They'll feel it. And yeah, dude, it's a poker face.
Yeah.
You're playing poker. You are straight up playing poker. Like, guaranteed when you get on these jobs, it's like, okay. We gotta run 60 feet high in this freaking building? All right, let's do it.
Yeah, which is going to be awesome for Masons.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm not exactly the greatest with heights.
No,
Yeah.
Tubbs will go white. 40 feet off the ground. Tubbs is like,
Yeah, I start letting the lift is going up. I'm doing this.
yep.
I'm shrinking down so I'm not getting any height.
Trying to ride the bottom of that freaking lift.
All right, fine.
It's just obvious, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta realize, dude, that like the way my mind works is you didn't know who I was until I reached out. You know what I mean? So like I had no idea that I even existed.
Yeah.
So I have to go freaking introduce myself. And then I go introduce myself to this dude and this dude. And I let all these people know that I'm existing. And because like it really don't mean anything. Like you have to freaking introduce yourself. People in the construction world, you could take it like this. You walk into Walmart, there's freaking 10,000 people in Walmart. Not one of them knows who you are. It's the same in the construction world, you know? It's like you walked into a Walmart and nobody knows who you are. So go introduce yourself to these people and then bring in and like really good fitters, really like, dude, you're gonna spend a lot of money. You are gonna bring in the very best you can find. Just start knocking jobs out, boom, boom, boom. And then the phone calls start coming and it will start to build itself. But I am constantly looking for work too.
Half of them don't want to talk back.
Yeah, half of them don't want to talk back, and they have your money in their pocket, and you're trying to figure out how to get it. It's all about just making contact. And most people, like, they'll get their feelings hurt when people don't want to talk back to them. And it's like, if you can just introduce yourself, that's the problem. Everybody wants to be on the phone for freaking 20 minutes, and they feel like they made, we're making progress. No. If I'm on the phone for less than 30 seconds, I did good. And so my thing is, hey, my name's Jake Schofield. I own Impact Industrial and Fabrication. I'm just wondering if you guys ever use subcontractors to help install. There's certain ways you can freaking word things. If you're like, are you just looking for welders? It's not the right wording. Do you guys use subcontractors to install your high pressure piping systems, or you're being more intelligent? You can say pipe welder, or you can say pipe systems. Word choice is totally like, it's like, oh, piping system. Well, yeah, we do piping systems all the time. You didn't just limit yourself to
Being a welder.
just a welder. I understand the piping systems. What do you need? And so it's all on how you word it. But then it's like, yes, no. So if they say yes, I'll say, hey, I know where you're at. I will come visit you so that you actually can put a face to the phone. And then we can talk when I come talk to you. When's a good time? And then I will leave it at that. And I leave it with them in their ballpark, because it's like, well, I'll be around on Wednesday if you guys want to come up. And so now they're like, they didn't realize they just committed to me, but they committed to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
And so then I fly up or drive up or do whatever, go meet them, introduce myself, show them what we can do. And I am there for less than 10 minutes. I do not want to be in that office for much longer than that, because it's boring. It's boring for both of us. You know what I mean? Like, he's already got all the information he needs. Why do I need to stay longer? He's busy. Yeah. Be like, God, dude, I know what you do. Freaking leave. You know what I mean?
That'll be the opening 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Just like view counts like 100%. Boom, 5%.
Yeah. Like, you're learning to be friends, but not overstay your visit. And I think reading or like listening to audiobooks about frickin' sales. I listen to selling all the time. Like, that's all I do anymore. And it will teach you how to say things. And like, unconsciously, you're picking up ways of presenting things. And then it takes just getting on the phone and like getting through the fear of like calling somebody. Like, even like 2 years ago, it was scary for me to get on the phone, and then I let it drop off because we were busy on jobs. And then I had to go through about 4 days of fear to freaking rebuild that callus of like, well, whatever, you know, no big deal. But it's a thing that you have to constantly be working on. Other techniques.
Yeah, from multiple sources.
100%.
Okay.
Other ways to bug people into giving him work.
It's all about it, man. Been like, man.
Just poking. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, man, where's the jobs? Tell me where the jobs are.
That's another great one.
Like back in the pipeline days. That's what it
Oh, yeah, it was poking the bear all the
was.
time.
All the time.
That dude just got off the phone, and then that will teach you how to word things really good. Because you got 10,000 other welders looking for the same job.
What will poking?
Pipelining, like learning how to call weld bosses and things like that. Because that dude just got off the phone with 12 other dudes that day, and he's pissed by the time you call.
And their damn voicemail always off.
Full or off?
Full or off. So if you don't answer, yeah, just try. Keep trying.
Beep, redial, beep, redial, beep, redial. No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Maybe give it a day.
Yeah, give her a day.
76 missed phone calls.
Yeah.
From the same guy.
How many times do you say you should follow up until you get to the point where like you should just stop? Like how many times? Right.
Always follow up.
Right, but we were talking about like 2-3 times versus 76 calls. Like how many times do you usually follow up until you finally say, all right, I'm just gonna stop. Like these guys aren't gonna come.
It kind of depends on the situation. Like trying to find a welding job. Like you're just a welder looking for a job. I mean,
Don't call them every day.
yeah, like just follow up when you feel like it. I mean, sometimes they just don't answer the phone. Sometimes they just don't want to deal. Like they don't have any work.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna find that out until somebody talks to you. You know?
Exactly.
But like this kind of stuff, it's just like Jake was saying. You gotta once you make contact, that's kind of all you can really do. Plant the seed, you know, of that we do this stuff. Show them if like you get the opportunity to meet them. Like Jake, you have those books
Yeah, I got books.
with like all
Picture
of his,
books.
like pictures of jobs and stuff that we've done. He has those, so he shows them. It kind of imprints on their mind. Like this guy's not just saying he can weld, because anyone can say that, right? Mm-hmm. But if you can prove it to him, I mean, it'll get you one more step up. You know, if you have some way to prove it to him that you are capable of this job.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing you can do too is like I've welded out an 8-inch coupon, and I got 3 samples. I got a downhill, a TIG, and an LH. And I welded this whole thing out, and then I cut it into a quarter, and then clear coated it, made it look all pretty, right? And so that when I hand them the books, I have that sample on there too, so they can actually see, oh, these guys are freaking legit. Like it's not a bunch of boogered up welds.
Yeah.
They look good. And then the other thing you can do is start, you know, depending on what niche you are, have your paperwork in hand, ready as far as like your certifications, your procedures, what all your guys are tested to, know what you're talking about. And then you can hand them all that and just say, man, we're pretty much ready to walk onto your job whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, having proof of that your guys are capable. And the only way you can do that is like by testing, showing like, yeah, this whatever stainless, carbon, whatever it might be, you've already proved that you can do it. Like you don't have to see it. We have a piece of paper that says this guy knows how to weld.
Yes.
Not me just walking in there and him hauling around saying I know how to weld.
Yes.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody. And a lot of the time these people don't even know.
No, they don't
A
have
lot
a
of
clue.
these companies, they have no idea what a welding procedure is or anything. And we have that. We can now show them, like, this is how you're supposed to do this.
Yeah.
This is like a game changer to them, too, you know?
Takes a lot of liability off of them.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can present it in a way that they can make money on you, and then you can take the liability and lessen it for them, chances of you getting on the job are way better.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I would say you always follow up all the time. Not all the time. I'm saying like be cool about it. Like everybody gets emails from these freaking weird email places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you'll get 6 of them in a day, and instantly you hate that person. And you want nothing to do with them. You will block them. Or you will try to get rid of their email or whatever it takes, right? Don't be that freaking guy.
Yeah.
Like, just be considerate. Like, this dude's busy, you know? If he gives you 30 seconds, like, be grateful for it. Because it's huge. He's dealing with freaking 100 dudes right now. And so, yeah, anyways, I don't know. The follow-up, like, once a week, like I would say like once every other week.
Yeah, and plus, like, depending on what information, like when you, let's say you finally got a hold of the guy, he's busy, whatever. What information did he give you? Like, did he, well, we don't really have much going on right now.
Yeah,
Because sometimes they, you know, like, we don't really have much work coming up or anything right now, but in like a month, we're looking at this job. You know, depending on, because they might just be like, no.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a dead end.
Yeah, then just leave it.
Yeah, but if they kind of give you some information, like, yeah, we might maybe here in a month or two got this coming up.
Call him in
back
a month.
within, like, if he said a month, call him in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And say, hey man, I talked to you a couple weeks ago. You said you might have something coming up that might need a welder if you're just looking to be a welder or looking to subcontract with another company. And yeah, kind of, I would say it depends on kind of the information you get from them initially. And if they don't answer, give it a week.
Yeah.
Try it again, you know.
Yeah.
If no answer, you know, or if you left a message or something.
That's good. That's good.
Do it, what, 3 times probably?
Yeah, and if they don't, like, you know, make sure you leave them a message and...
Yeah, and then if they don't call you back after 3 times, I would just call it.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time on things.
Don't focus on just one job.
But what if you're one of those guys, because I've seen a few of them in the comments back to like 6-5 years ago.
Yeah.
Going through old, by the way. Where they're like, yeah, but I'm a local welder. So, you know, these are only like the 5 possible jobs. Like, I gotta kind of follow up on this guy because I don't have the ability or money to go travel out for a job.
I'd go in. I would freaking I'd leave him a voicemail, and if he didn't answer, 3 days later I'd walk into that office.
Yeah.
But you need to study. You need to study. Like a lot of these guys that'll call me, they're like, "Hey, heard you're looking for welders," and it's like, "Where'd you hear that from?" And then they have they don't know who I am. They don't know what my company does. They don't know nothing.
So research
who you're going into. Figure out who you need to talk to.
what their problem is.
Yeah, and then freaking go in and talk to him. Don't just walk in, you know. Hi, my name's Jake. And then just like, oh, well, nice to meet you, Jake. What can I do for you? Looking for a job? Looking for a subcontractor spot? I don't know. See you. And then just walk away, you know. Free.
Yeah.
Just like pay attention. Just be considerate of people, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you do it too much, it's over. You will get no work.
Yeah. Sometimes you're talking to the wrong guy.
100%. You need to figure out who the hell you need to talk to.
Yeah, it's like you might be talking to the janitor.
Oh yeah, you might be talking to the
The
janitor.
janitor guy, you don't know he's a janitor.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna, oh yeah, they're doing all kinds of work. Cool.
Tons of it. One thing everybody's gonna talk about too is they're like, man, I can't get back to the freaking secretary. Dude, that secretary is your very best friend. Like, that's one thing you got to keep in your mind is like, she is blocking the dude that you need to talk to. And so she's your gateway into that. And you need to realize that the way you word things is going to determine if you talk to that dude or not. If you make a secretary feel important and like they are the only ones that can get you to where you need to go, the chances of you talking to that dude are like 95%. Like, I have only had a handful of secretaries tell me, well, shoot him an email or do this, you know, and maybe they'll get back to you. I've had a handful do that. For the majority of the time, I will, like if Janet calls or answers the phone and say, hey, Janet, hey, this is Jake Schofield. I don't know who I need to talk to, but I'm pretty sure you probably do. If you'd point me in the right direction, I'd sure appreciate it. And it's like, heck yeah, I know who I'm talking. I'm the gatekeeper, you know? And then she'll freaking push me where I need to go. I need to talk to who deals with the subcontractors. Oh yeah, it would be this guy. And then I get hooked up with that guy.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, Stacy. For the more experienced guys.
Most of this. What are, say, 3 or 4 pro tips you have for the guys who have been doing bids for 10 years to maybe up their game a little bit?
I wish they'd tell me.
One, get courses. Doesn't matter how good you are. There's always a course online or a book. Constantly be learning, constantly been keeping up with how to estimate. What's another one? Tell me. Tell me, Daddy.
Mines.
Tell me, Daddy, what do we got? We can figure out how to use all this software everybody's got. Bluebeam, Navis, like a lot of this stuff you can upload on here. And if you have questions on P&IDs or whatever, you can like put a cloud around it, type your notes in, submit it, and then the person that needs to answer the question will see, Impact has a question on this, or, So learn how to use your software, get familiar with software, because it's pretty big in like big money jobs. This is what they're going to do to keep everything organized.
Question everything.
Yeah.
Coming from the contractor you're working for, from the plant or whatever you're working on, it's not that they're trying to get you to mess up, but they're not gonna
help you.
They're not gonna help you not mess up. So question, like that's why me and Jake like to do this together, because we can bounce it off each other. And if we don't know, don't be afraid to ask the contractor, what is this? This doesn't correlate with this, and this looks funky on here. Like, just like right now, we don't know
where the water lines are going.
Where it is that we are actually tying in. We don't know, because if we got to do all this, it's tons of work. But we were under the assumption that, well, it wasn't that much.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just looked at this and glanced at that, and be like, oh yeah, it's 6 welds. Well, if we go to scope of work, deal again, we find out it's all that, and we don't put that in this bid, we're buying that pipe.
All of it.
All of it. The time.
And the welders.
The welders, all of it. Because we messed up. That's why we just called the contractor to get that cleaned up, to figure out what we got to do. And probably tomorrow, we're going to be back on the job to walk it again, to see it for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because now we've got a question that we can't trust this and we can't trust this. The contractor, he's not sure. Now we need to go to the GC.
Yes.
The main guy. And be like, what are we doing? This little bit or all of it? Totally changes everything. 3 stories or 3 levels worth of piping rather than about 25 foot of pipe.
That's the difference.
All off if we didn't question it.
Yep.
If we just went with this and like, oh, well, it just shows this.
Yeah, we're only tying into this. This must all be ran.
Yeah. Question it.
Yeah.
If you're not confident, question it. Somebody knows. Don't just say, yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes blind confidence doesn't work.
Yes. Yes, for sure. 100%. So that's the tips we got. Freaking get familiar with your software, question everything. What was the first one?
Courses.
Yeah,
Courses. Yeah, constantly be learning.
Yeah.
All the time. Like,
well, you end up like old like me and refuse to use this.
yeah, and then you gotta have me
I gotta
to do
have
it.
him to do it.
Hey, take me over to this room. Okay, here we go. Sit down, buckle up.
I should take our own advice.
So yeah, that's kind of
Cool.
that's probably what we got.
I'm still recording. I got that.
I don't want to freaking do it. We gotta go eat some lunch or something, hey?
Yeah. We need some snacks.
Okay, a snack. Do you want lunch or a snack?
No, let's get some.
I want some tacos.
Let's get some tacos.
Want some tacos?
Sure, why not?
Let's
Get
go
some
get
tacos, dude. We need a break.
We need a break. We did one line. Yeah.
Jake's lost his wallet again, for those who are wondering.
Got it.